Hi guys, and welcome to Sisters in the City with me, Anna Vakili.
And me, Mani Vakili. So this episode is obviously going to be quite a morbid one because we weren't even going to do it.
Yeah, we were going to take a whole week off the podcast, but I just thought even if we just come on here and just even if it's a shorter episode and just tell you guys what's up, because I feel like you guys, we owe you an explanation as well. Well, we don't owe you, but we want to give you an explanation.
Yeah, because obviously you guys are meant to be like, I don't know, like our friends.
Yeah.
So it only feels right. I feel like the first people I told actually
Was
the bad news to was people on Patreon.
I know. Before you even put it on Instagram.
Before I put it on Instagram, before anything, because I just felt like, I don't know, they were in a weird way get so close to me.
Yeah.
So the bad news is, I don't know how I'm going to get through this.
Basically, to be honest, this episode's meant to come out on Tuesday. I don't even know if the editor will edit it on time, but this week on Wednesday, Wednesday, our dog Kobie passed away. The little brown dog that we had, little Pomeranian Kobie, passed away.
So on Wednesday, the 18th of October, exactly. And it was, I know I texted Gingerbeard's family at 10:25 saying, really good news, Kobie's much better. He's getting better. And then at 10:27, Anna called me, screaming down the phone, exactly 2 minutes after I sent that message. So I basically say, for me, he died on Wednesday, the 18th of October at 10:27.
I was on the sofa literally watching something on Instagram, and then I got the call from the vet. And as soon as I got that call, I just had a feeling, because I knew that if they called at that time, it's probably bad news. And I'm shaking at this point, and then I have to go into the other room because I didn't even want to hear it. I just was I'm like to Cal's, can you speak to them? I don't know what's going on. And I just said, is Kobie alive? Is he alive? And then they were like, no. And I just I fell to the floor so hard, my knees are all fucked. And I was screaming, crying. He had to literally get off the phone. And while I was screaming, that's when I called you. And I didn't even know how to say it to you. I just
answered the phone. And all I heard was screaming. And I don't know what to say. I don't even know. I honestly thought, oh God, I'm going to come on this podcast. I'm not going to even be upset because it's the fourth day now.
We've been crying.
Because I found out Wednesday night, literally couldn't sleep all night.
It's Sunday. We've been crying for 4 days. 4 days.
Sunday night, yeah. Okay, so I really want to give a bit of a backtrack kind of story to it. My 2 weeks was due on the 9th of October, Monday the 9th of October. So after getting my nails done, I walked over to Anna's because it's close to the nail shop, and I went to pick up Eddie and Kobie. And I picked up Eddie and Kobie was just a little bit lazy to walk. He wasn't walking as as much as he normally walked the 2 weeks prior when I had him, because we have them 2 weeks each. So I hadn't had them for 2 weeks. But he was still pretty normal, because he's always been a bit of a stopper and a bit of a,
lazy little bit.
Yeah, he gradually became lazy over the course of the last year. But I thought obviously he's not a kid anymore. He's not a baby. He's growing up as well. So I had him on the Monday. Monday evening, me and Gingerbeard saw him on the sofa, and we were he was standing weird. Almost I can't explain it. He was just standing a bit weird. And we kind of were what the hell? What's wrong with him? He seems weird. And it's weird because as humans, we can kind of see the signs in other humans. But if something might be off. But in animals, especially me, never having experienced an animal who was terminally, so chronically ill. For me, it was just he was standing funny. He was just being a bit of a freak, because he always was a bit funky.
Yeah, Kobie was always a bit funky.
He always did strange stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
As gradually the week went on, I just saw he was more lethargic and started to turn away at his food. I thought, I don't know. Like, what do you think? Maybe he's got a stomach bug. Maybe he's got COVID because Anna had COVID.
But the thing is, Kobie in the past has turned away from food. So like it's happened in the past that he's like not eaten one day and then eaten the next day. So it's not something that was like, for me, when Mandy told me like, oh my God, what the hell? Like he's not eating food today. Because then she'd message me like, Kobie's not eating. Then like a day later, she'd be like, he's eaten. My mum fed him, he's eaten.
Yeah, so it was like 24 hours would go and I'd get really worried. And the next morning he'd gobble down a load of food. And like dogs do that. I know loads of people's dogs that do that as well. Anyway, gradually as the week got on, I was like, okay, he seems a little bit unwell, but like we get unwell, we all get unwell. So like it's only been like 3 days. Let me give it another 3 days, yeah? Then at one point I took him to walk and he seemed like he really couldn't walk. And then I was like, okay, he's unwell.
So she took him to the
I called up and I booked his appointment for Tuesday, the 17th of October. So I got him on the 9th. He gradually was like, seemed to get a bit more lethargic, unwell throughout the week. And I booked an appointment for the 17th, Tuesday the 17th at 6:30 p.m. I was at work, so I told my mum, you need to take Kobie and like I'll get an Uber from work and I'll meet you at the vet's. I get a call from the vets while I'm on the way anyway, because my mum's there with Kobie. And they say, look, we've listened to his lungs and his heart and it sounds really raspy and it sounds like there's something really wrong. His heart isn't beating right. And then I arrived there, Anna arrived at the same time, and they said, look, something doesn't sound right. We're really worried about him. We've put him on oxygen. Like me not even thinking that he would need oxygen. But to be fair, when my mom first got there, they weren't even checking his heart or like anything. My mom is really smart and my mom said, look, he hasn't been really active, so maybe check his heart. Anyway, she was checking his teeth and his like, you know, his nails and his eyes and his paws until my mom said, check his heart. So after, she said, it doesn't sound right. We need to do some extra tests. We need to take him to the hospital. It's going to cost you £2,800. Are you willing to pay?
We were like, yeah.
We said, obviously, yeah, because if she's worried and she looked worried.
She looked worried and she was like, this is how much it's going to cost. We need to take him to the hospital for extra checks. She was like, it's critical. And then at
He's
this
in
point,
critical condition. But as I got to the vet, he was like, put his paws up on my chest and he tried to jump up on me. He tried to jump up for me to take him home.
Didn't want to be there. He wanted to come home.
Just like the day before, like he'd go up and down the stairs. Like he wasn't like bed bound. He wasn't like, he was just like less energetic. He was just, anyway, I don't know.
He didn't look like a dying dog.
Oh yeah, he did not look like he was on the brink of dying. He looked like he was just like had a bug. That's how he looked like.
Anyway, at this point,
so we've given him to the ladies' care. She said we'll take him to the hospital, and this is a Tuesday night. So basically, we have a flight to go to Cyprus for a christening on Thursday 9 a.m. was mine. So Thursday 9 a.m. Anyway, on Tuesday night, they say to us that they called us. And they said, suddenly, later on in the night, they called us from the hospital because, he'd been taken to the hospital for extra checks. We got a call saying, you should really think about euthanizing Kobie.
Because he's in a really bad congestive heart failure. And we were like, what?
He's got congestive heart failure. We've done the tests. He's got fluid filled up in his lungs and his heart. He's got signs of lungworm. At this point, like we start screaming. We're in hysterics.
On the phone, and we were like, no, we're not doing that.
We said euthanasia is out of the question. Like, we're going to do everything to keep him alive. They said, okay, we just have to give you the option.
So then they basically took him from Medivet in Cockfosters to Medivet in Enfield because it's 24/7.
It's a hospital.
It's like a hospital.
And that's where they called us from, Anna.
No.
Where they done the tests.
No. It's the woman from Cockfosters that called and said, you should think about euthanasia.
Really? But then how does she know about the test? How does she know about the heart?
She did a snap test. Oh, she did a test. She did the test.
Oh, she did a test in the vet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They took him from Cockfosters Medivet to Enfield 24/7.
Oh, you're right.
Because Cockfosters isn't open 24/7 and they wanted to keep him basically monitored with nurses on oxygen and treat him basically with like clotting medication.
Diuretics to drain the fluid from his heart and lungs.
And then also like medication to kill the
worm.
lung worm.
So basically, you're right. Do you know why? Because I forgot to say it when they called us and told us like he's in critical condition, think about euthanizing him. Me, you, Cowsick and Gingerbeard straight away went to Medivet before they took him to hospital.
And that's when he
we
was
just
trying to
saw
jump
him
on
and
you.
kissing him and hugging him.
So anyway, basically, when he got to Enfield Hospital, they kept him on oxygen. They gave him all his medication and they said, okay, we're going to start treating him for lungworm. So this is how we found out he had the congestive heart failure. He got heart failure because he had lungworm. And like, lungworm is like so rare, apparently. There's hardly, I mean, you have to report cases of lungworm. It's not something that's like easily transferable. It's from slugs and snails, basically. And if your like dog eats a slug or a snail,
that contains the parasite.
That contains the parasite. And she said that he's got so much lungworm. And when we treat the lungworm and they all die, he might have a bit of a reaction. So we're going to give him steroids. So we said, okay. And then anyway, the next day, which was on the Wednesday, he's being treated.
Did she say that to you, Anna?
Yeah.
That she might have a reaction to the...
She said, so we have to give him steroids to stop any reaction.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Then on the Wednesday, he's there all day, he's getting his medication, and then around 5 o'clock...
Yeah, but we're calling all day and we're getting updates and the updates are positive.
Yeah, so all day... he's there. And then around 5 o'clock, she goes, his actual breathing's become near to normal. He's much better. And she said the last case we had for like a dog with lungworm that had all these issues, had a full recovery.
So it was very perfect. So we start packing.
So I started packing my suitcase. Mandy's packing her suitcase. We're really happy. Like we've got a flight the next morning on the Thursday. And like it's good news basically. I packed my suitcase, sitting down on the sofa, and then at 10 o'clock is when I got the call.
10 hours past 10.
Just past around 10 o'clock. Around 10 o'clock I got the call saying I did a lot of screaming, crying before I called you. And then I got the call about Kobie. And then basically since that's happened, it feels like our world has like fallen apart. I can't tell you. So basically we're not going Cyprus. That's out the picture, obviously.
Yeah, our whole suitcase was packed, everything.
My suitcase is still packed. Like I've not even been able to unpack it. Like look at me, guys. So basically the whole of Thursday, the whole of Friday, the whole of Saturday, and today's Sunday, we've cried basically.
And the whole of Wednesday night as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Non-stop.
Like my eyeballs hurt and like I can't, like I feel like dizzy.
I can't cry anymore as well sometimes. It's
like
weird.
I feel dizzy. Like when I close my eyes, if I feel like everything's spinning. And then we basically, for the whole of like Wednesday night and Thursday, we cried. And then on Friday, Mandy said that we should, because Eddie was confused, and Mandy said it would help us with our grieving if we see Kobie's body.
Yeah.
So on the Friday night, we decided to take Eddie and all of me, Mandy and Cowslick to go and see Kobie's body. And for me, like that's the hardest, that was for me the hardest, like one of the hardest parts, because when I went in there, like obviously I was crying when I walked in, but then seeing Kobie there, like the way he was, like he was just
hard and frozen.
He was like frozen, and like it was just
hard.
It was horrible, like seeing him like that. That part for me, like I can't get it out of my head. All I think about is that, like, and I just keep thinking to him, like he doesn't want to be frozen, like he doesn't want to be there. He doesn't, like he. Get him out of the... It was such a horrible scene. Like me and Mandy was screaming in that vet. Like, oh God.
And screaming for 4 days.
Yeah.
Like literally my neighbours are like to me, I could hear you. Like screaming. Like from my flat.
Eddie, basically, we wanted to... Because apparently if you show them their dead brother or whatever, their friend, they know and they stop searching, so they're less confused.
Because Eddie was really, really confused. Every sound, like he was really disoriented. He was waiting for his brother. He didn't understand. So we took Eddie though. When we went just before they took Kobie to the hospital, and they said he's in critical condition and his lungs are, and all this stuff, and you should euthanize him. When we rushed to the vet before Kobie went to the hospital, we took Eddie.
Yeah.
And Eddie saw his brother and he was really happy and he was licking his face.
Yeah.
So his last memory of him was alive. So I felt like it was important for us to go and see the body. I mean, especially for me, because I was losing my head a little bit, and I don't know, like I felt really disoriented. I've had a very strange few days. Like I've almost felt like Kobie was alive, and I've had a weird stuff. Like obviously I've got OCD and intrusive thinking, and I had mad thoughts. I had like they're lying to me. He's
Me too.
alive.
They're trying to steal him.
They're trying to steal him.
Me too. I had the same.
They've killed him.
Yeah.
They've murdered him, because what are the chances of like, your dog's fine, he's jumping up on you, like he is like walking around the house, he's getting into bed, he's going upstairs, downstairs, he's doing everything. And you hand the most precious thing to you over to the vet, and less than 24 hours they tell you he's dead. It didn't make sense. Like he wasn't dying. He was kissing me. He was on the bed. He was in my lap. He was walking around my house. He was, it didn't make sense. And I had loads of thoughts. I had thoughts of like, he's gonna come in the room, or he's not dead. And every single morning, before I even woke up, I'd be flooding in tears before I even woke up. Like if I woke up to go to the toilet in the middle of the night, I'd be screaming like, and he was like our baby. People might think like, oh, it's a dog, it's a pet. For me, like Kobie was like my baby.
Yeah, me too. And when Eddie saw Kobie, he literally like cried and ran under the chair. So like I think he knows now, but it's like, it's horrible because me and Mandy are grieving, but at the same time we're watching Eddie grieve as well, because Eddie and Kobie were in the same litter. They were born in the same litter. They've been together all their 4 years of their life. They sleep in the same bed. Even if there's 2 beds, they choose to sleep in one. If they're chilling, they'll chill bum to bum.
Yeah.
They eat together.
They interact all day.
They
like,
play
even
all
if
day.
There's like they're not playing. Like, do they have eye contact all day? Like, don't come near my toy, or like, and like Eddie's severely depressed.
Yeah, he's really, really in a bad way. And
like it's just so weird, because it's like we're family, like when you have a dog, he's your family. Like Kobie was my family, and it really hurt me because like on Wednesday night, and when I found out, I was literally screaming, and like Gingerbeard was like holding me up, and he had a flight as well the next morning, and I was like to him, go, like it's okay, I've got my mom's staying with me, because my mom is staying with me. And he went, and then I just regretted it so much saying that, because like I needed him so much. And then as soon as he landed, I was begging for him back, and he didn't come. And like he missed like that whole phase of like the 4 days I went through hell. I just had my mom and Anna and counselling, and I don't know, because like I didn't have Gingerbeard. I feel so embarrassed, like crying here.
That's okay.
And it was really hard for me, because I had Kobie the last week of his life. And I constantly blame myself, like, did I miss the signs? Like, maybe I thought it was ill, but why didn't I rush to the hospital as soon as I got him? Like, if I did, would he have survived? Like, or did I kill him? And I was like, I killed him. Like, I killed Kobie.
You didn't. It's ridiculous. I keep telling her.
I made myself so unwell, and like I couldn't accept that he was dead. And that's why I had to see his body, because I didn't believe that Kobie was dead. I believed that like he was alive. And then when I saw his body, I just kept thinking weird things. Like his tongue was sticking out of the side of his mouth, but he was laying on this side of his face, but the tongue was all the way out on this side. And I thought, like, why didn't they put it in? And like, why didn't they do that? Or like the eye was open, one of them, and I was like, why didn't they shut it? And he looked like he was sleeping. So when I first walked into the room where he was dead, they had him wrapped up in like a blanket, like kind of thing, and in a bed. And I was like, he's alive, he's alive, he's alive.
Guys,
it's really hard.
Such a horrible few days.
I thought he was alive, but he wasn't. He was frozen in like a sleeping position like this. you couldn't really see this side because it was like, it was covered with the blanket. Unless you like pull the blanket, this eye was closed, frozen, and then the tongue was out
Okay,
this
stop,
way.
Mandy, enough.
And I don't understand why. And I just kept thinking they hated him, like they killed him. And like all these thoughts were coming in my head, like I killed him, they killed him. Like what
I'm
doesn't
not gonna
make sense? Not
But
making sense.
it is really weird though, because like that, the Medivet and Cockfosters that had him at first, they were really like empathetic and really nice. But the Medivet in Enfield, when we went to see Kobie's body, like the girl
walked in wailing, crying.
We walked in like crying our eyes out, and the girl was like almost smiling. Like
she was smiling.
She was like this, like so weird. And then I was trying to ask questions because I wanted to like kind of know more, like how long was the lungworm there?
I needed closure.
We kind of needed like closure, and they were answering like with this kind of like the other girl was answering with like such a straight face, like we don't know. I don't own any animals. I was like, okay.
Horrible.
So strange because, usually I'm not asking for a hug or anything like that, but usually when someone's like crying their eyes out and they've just lost their pet, you're a bit more like empathetic.
The way we were escorted to the room was horrible.
Yeah.
Like down there. Like the way when we came in crying our eyes out. They didn't say a word. Would you like a glass of water? I'm really sorry for your loss.
Nothing.
Are you okay? He was gorgeous. He was nothing. We're here to see Kobie's body. Oh, okay, just wait. Like horrible fucking bitches who work in Enfield Medivet Hospital. Don't take your animal there, could probably die. And because that's basically what happened to us. No empathy at all. They were not kind. They were so cold. Their faces straight-faced. Like literally looked like they wanted to laugh at us. They looked like they wanted to laugh. They looked like on their lunch break, they fucking laugh at us.
But literally 10 minutes before that, we were in Cockfosters branch because we had to go and pick up some basically, we're going to start taking Eddie's stool samples to make sure Eddie doesn't have lungworm. So we went to the Cockfosters and we were still crying, obviously, in Cockfosters. The lady at Cockfosters was so sweet. I'm sorry, like just being
so reassuring. Like, like about, you were a great owner. Think of the good times. Stay strong for Eddie. Like real amazing like person. And to be honest, the other vet as well, the lady at Medivet Cockfosters was lovely.
Who, Abby?
Abby, such a nice woman. She really cared.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for her with such urgency, like Kobie would have had a slow, suffering death at home. But I called Abby anyway a few times from the days after. I was like, please talk to me. I need to understand. I need to know. Please explain, because why did it happen? And she basically said what you said.
Like, you don't know how long the lungworm's in there. Like,
no, she said that like when the lungworms start dying in the lungs, the body can go into shock or like have a clot from all the dead worms. And she also said like, it's almost like someone who's got cancer and they get chemo. Chemo can kill people, but if you don't get chemo, you're going to die from cancer. So it was almost like a catch-22 at that stage.
Yeah, but I just wanted to know like how... I mean, the thing is, they call lungworm the silent killer because the symptoms don't show until it's the last stage. So it's like the final stage where he started showing symptoms, which weren't even that much like symptoms. He was a little bit off his food and he didn't really want to walk. And by that time, it was already too late. He was in the final stage. So it was just like, and it's
if I took him a few days earlier, it would have been the same thing when he got treated. I think
it would have been. I think it would have been too late. All the questions I asked, I'm not getting proper answers. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's all very confusing. Apparently, like if you have a dog, you need to get them. Lungworm isn't like it's not the over-the-counter worming treatment. It's it's specifically like from the vet. It's a very rare thing, but apparently it's growing in the UK a lot.
So watch out, maybe get your dogs, it's a preventative and a cure, what they give at the vet. So maybe get that for your dog. Everyone I stopped, so I took Eddie out to the park today for an hour to get him off his mind off the situation. Every single person I spoke to, they didn't know about lungworm.
Yeah.
They didn't even know it existed.
Exactly.
And
well, the vet said we had one case.
Yeah. I cried to every person that walked past.
I think I just wanted to touch on something else as well. I mean, obviously, like right now with what's going on in the world with Gaza and like the horrible things that are happening, the deaths of like so many children, women and children, and the war. Like we didn't want to feel like we're being insensitive because obviously we know so much bad things are going on. And like, it was a very difficult thing because we kind of wanted to let our followers know. Obviously, our Instagram is quite our personal Instagram. And we wanted to let people know why we're so quiet. And like, because I was sharing and Mandy was sharing about Palestine movement and we were sharing all these things on our Instagram up until Kobie's death. And then we suddenly went quiet. And we kind of wanted to share with everyone with our grief and like what we're going through.
It's still our personal grief, like,
Yeah.
it's like, I know it's a stretch, but if someone in your family dies, you still grieve it.
Yeah.
Even though there's so much horror happening. But I did write a long message that I wanted to read out. Maybe we can end it on that note.
Some people were saying underneath it, like, how could you even write this when there's horrible things going on?
They're just
Gaza?
idiots, Anna. Kobie was our family.
Yeah, but they don't understand that a dog's just not just, because them it's just like over a dog when there's people, but like Kobie to
people
us.
Like over a dog, yeah. Like, I think Anna messaged Gingerbeard saying like, you should come back for Mandy, she's in a really bad way. And he said, there's people dying. He replied saying, there's people dying every day. And that broke my heart. Yeah, there's people dying every day. But Kobie died on Wednesday at 10:20 something, and you spent half his life with him. And the thing is, I know Gingerbeard was really upset as well. Like he like shed a lot of tears for Kobie, but I don't know, it's strange how some people can really
like
block it out. And but I mean,
everyone grieves differently.
I mean, obviously it's going to be different for me because my connection and your connection with Kobie and like...
We're like his mum.
Yeah, we're like his mum. We raised him and we had him since he was born.
He's usually like, when we're doing the podcast, he's usually here like just with Eddie.
I know.
So it's just... And now we don't know because we can't see Eddie so depressed. We don't know what to do. Should we get another dog? But then we don't want to get another dog because we feel guilty because we don't want to feel like we're replacing Kobie. And I feel guilty on Kobie. Like now you're gone and I'm just going to replace you. So it's just such like...
But at the same time, Eddie is so severely like depressed. It's like, I'm suffering more from Eddie's suffering than I am from Kobie's loss now. Like, it's actually distracted me. Like, I've forgotten about Kobie because Eddie...
He didn't eat his dinner today.
He's so depressed. Now he's becoming aggressive. Like,
yeah, he never
was. The sweetest, kindest dog is becoming aggressive and I don't really know what to do. Another dog, a puppy, is a lot of hard work as well. Like, especially when it's a puppy. At least 1 year of like
hard work.
Sacrifice and hard work.
And I mean, we've got the plug-in adapter. We went and got a little heartbeat teddy, but like none of these things are really working. And like to get him a companion is basically, we'd have to be really like selfless and like basically, because if we were selfish, we wouldn't get another dog because it's such hard work. But like right now we're thinking just to be selfless and like,
just do it for Eddie's sake. We don't know if we're going to regret it. Like what if Eddie overcomes this? But his world is so small. His world is confined to my house, your house, and the walks we take him on, like, and the toys we buy him. And we bought him, like you said, these relaxation things, but it's not working. He's just so anxious and his eyes are screaming. Like I saw him searching for his brother in the morning.
So yeah,
when I cut off like a fur from Kobie's head when I went to see his body, I kissed his face and his nose and his frozen head and everything a million times, and I said, I'm sorry and I love you and bye. And anyway, if anyone knows what I can do with that fur, if I can like have some kind of keepsake jewelry, please let me know. Anyway, I thought I'd just read the thing and then we'll go. And then I thought when it happened, I'm done, my job's over, I can't go to work ever again, the podcast is over, everything's over. But now, like, today I've been actually really positive. I have to say positive for Eddie and for my mum, because my mum is also like older and she's cried a lot.
She's got high blood pressure and she's watching me and Mandy cry and it's giving her a lot of stress. So it's like, Mandy, we need to pull it together for mum.
Because she's been like crying because she couldn't get us out of our like depressive state. And also Eddie, I feel guilty looking back on like the 4 days of wailing and crying in bed, not moving, and him having to just sit in bed, mourn and like not go anywhere and just watch us
cry.
Yeah, it's been horrible. Anyway,
since this morning, I had a cry this morning, and since this morning, I've been okay.
Yeah,
So
to be
I
honest,
feel
I'm
like
running out. I'm kind of feel like I'm running out of tears. I've been Googling it like,
apparently you never run out of tears.
yeah, but you do get to a point where your mind becomes numb and you can't express the sadness. And I think that's probably one of the saddest stages.
I think that's how I feel now. But it's just weird because, you know, when me and Kausalik broke up for those 3 months, I cried so much for 3 months, like every single day. So it's like, it's mad that your body can actually produce tears nonstop. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Maybe we're like pulling it together because of our mum and because Eddie, and they're both in front of us.
Also, I think breakups and heartbreak is kind of a bit of a confusing for the mind, kind of sometimes can be a bit confusing.
Whereas this
is really, it's like black and white. Like, you just have to accept that what's happened and move on. Like,
there is so many stories like I want to share, but maybe on another episode. Like, it's October anyway. It's a sad, scary month. So maybe on another episode, because I don't know how long we've been recording now, Hannah.
It's been about half an hour. No, let's end it because I'm just not in. I'm so dizzy.
Yeah, I'll just read it.
I'm sorry, guys, for this short episode. We could try come back in different spirits next week.
I don't want to lose like my funny, like fun self. I don't want to lose my positive self. I don't want to fail my dream, my podcast.
I'm sure the people that listen to us and like love us and understand that like we're gonna have weeks like this, and there's gonna be times where we are down and things happen in life. That's the whole point. We're taking, and that's why we came and we're kind of dedicating to this, because we want to share every bit of our journey with you. To be honest, I told Mandy, let's come in on the weekend, but we were like, if we came in on the weekend,
the whole thing would have been screaming.
The whole thing would have been screaming and crying. I think you guys would have got annoyed. Yeah. At least now we can I can speak to you guys without crying. Whereas like on the other day, it wouldn't have been it would have been a terrible episode because we wouldn't have been able to get our message out.
I'm going to read the whole thing. It's really long, but we'll end it after that. Okay. Obviously, I said the beginning part of my caption, which says, I know there are devastating atrocities and pain and heartbreaking crimes happening right now in Gaza, but please understand what we are writing below is just our own current personal pain and experience. What has scared me so much is realizing that there is a pain out there that is to such an incredibly high degree that is unfathomable to the human mind from a distance. My pain is less than a drop compared to the ocean of pain in Gaza, and yet it feels like a tsunami to my soul. So my heart aches and breaks for those who feel loss and pain to a much, much higher degree. I did not meet death until recently it came to see me, and it cut a part of my heart and left. I have seen death around me and on TV and mobile screens, and I have seen others talk about death visiting them. But until death came and tore me apart, I did not know its darkness. Kobie, you are a part of me and a part of my flesh. And the death of you has been a death of a part of me. Right now, it feels like the death of all of me. I will miss your eyes and your mouth, your nose and your face, your smell and your sound. I will miss how you loved me and how we loved each other unconditionally. You are not a normal dog. You are so, so small and beautiful. You always wanted to be babied. You always wanted to sit on laps and be carried. You are the cutest dog to have ever lived. You are so loving. You are so precious. You loved us so much. You loved us deeply. And you loved the people we loved. But most of all, you loved your brother, Eddie. Eddie is suffering and grieving. He is depressed. We are all depressed. It feels like a dream and it feels like it's not real. My mind could not process that you are gone, and my mind could not believe it. So we went to see your body today. My beautiful baby Kobie, you lay there, but you were not there. Your body was cold and we screamed for you to come back to life and we kissed your cold body. I am sorry that the life you loved and enjoyed so much left you. I am so sad that you left us. My mind is going insane with what ifs. What could I or should I have done? I am sick without you. I forget you have gone for a split second when I wake up in the morning. But as soon as my eyes open and I realize you are gone, tears pour from me. I have been drowning in these tears, Kobie. I have been drowning in these tears and this nightmare I can't wake up from. I miss you. I love you. I want you back, Kobie. Eddie wants you back. We want you back. Please, everyone, be there for us. And please help advise us on what to do about Eddie's loss and grievance. They were brothers. They have never been apart since birth. They were more than brothers. They were best friends. They were soulmates. They played together from morning till night. They slept in the same bed even when they had separate ones. They were two bodies but one soul.
So sad. Anyway, we're gonna end it on that note. Anyway, such a weird episode. I think our podcast is definitely the weirdest podcast out there.
I hope like this isn't insensitive to anyone who's obviously gone through. Like I said at the beginning, like it's made me realize that like to imagine that there is like pain to such a high degree scares me. Like it's actually scary.
I know.
You know, that
if this
frightens me.
If this is how we feel about Kobie, like what are people going through right now, you know, in Gaza?
And I literally said, like, my pain is less than a drop compared to the ocean of pain that they're feeling, but it feels like a tsunami to me. Like,
and we can't help but feel it. We can't help it.
No, can't lie about your feelings.
I mean, and then like, I haven't been able to post anything on Instagram. As soon as I start feeling better, I'm going to go back to supporting what I was, you know, doing before and supporting the Free Palestine movement. But at the moment, I just felt sick to even go on my phone.
I want to say thank you to everyone who's like standing by us through this time and like, just thank you for loving us and being our besties and like, you know, just this is what it's all about, right? I don't know what else to say.
We love you and we will be back next week. Bye guys.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.